Thank you so much, Madam Chair. We have some additional comments to make, and thank you for giving us the floor again. It's regarding the section 3.5. We have to say that we're pleased generally with this section, but we have to say that the transversal women's rights perspective across the entire document still needs to be developed. It's not enough to just have it embedded in this section, even though, as we said, we're generally pleased, but it needs to be reflected throughout the entire document. And there's a few missing elements, such as the power relations and the gender violence in causing malnutrition, as well as measures towards transforming gender relations, which we think they're a fundamental necessity in this section 3.5. For 3.6, it's been already stated by many governments. We think that this section should not be only about humanitarian aid, but also about observing the provisions of international humanitarian law in terms of prohibitions against the destruction of agricultural areas, irrigation works, and drinking water, which often occurs in situations of occupations and conflict. Would like to remind that in paragraph 16.1 from the Right to Food Guidelines, it's agreed that food should never be used as means of political and economic pressure. So these kind of safeguards have to be clearly reflected in the section 3.5. And in addition, would like to support numerous voices who want to include references to the United Nations Decade for Family Farming. We think it's very appropriate, as the CFS is also part of the International Steering Committee. In the continuation, we believe that the states must promote sustainable production models with the capacity to transform the inequities, inequalities, and externalities generated within the current agri-food system. And therefore, the links with the agroecology must be strengthened. And there were plenty of voices around the room today who said that, so we're in support. Under the agroecological approach, producers, peasants, indigenous people have developed technologies adapted to their territories, transcending the primary level of production and generating a series of innovations at the commercial level as well. And the recognition of the small food producers' contribution to the food system by providing the nutritious, affordable, and culturally appropriate food, we think it's essential to be recognized and reflected in the document. Finally, we echo the concerns of some of the participants on biofortification, as we continue to believe that it doesn't belong in this document, because the precautionary principle and human rights must prevail in front of technologies that also often imply patents and risks which are insufficiently assessed. And we strongly believe that if we genuinely build sustainable food systems, biofortification is not necessary. Thank you very much.